Hey everyone, it's Jason. For today's video, we're going to go over the new game by Funko, Disney's Kingdomania. This is an expandable, like, miniature / card game, like, board game type thing. So they previously made the Marvel Battle World game, which had little miniatures. You had these hex tile cards that you use and you moved around the board using character abilities and defeating things on the board. This plays a very similar thing. It's not the same game. It's not even compatible. So we're going to hop in with this. I got a bunch of different balls. They also have big starter sets, which have more characters and some extra special items. So once I can find those, I will definitely do an unboxing for those as well. We're going to see what's in here and how to play this. So I've already opened up one of them because I wanted to have some idea of what I was talking about. So right off the bat, like, one big difference from the Funko one is these are a full sphere. The other ones had like kind of like hexes and stuff on them, so they could roll. So they kind of wouldn't roll around. This will actually roll around then. But they do have a spot in the top and the bottom to place figures. So we're gonna go ahead and pop one of these open. Okay, I've already unwrapped everything in here, so we'll see what it is. But we'll see what we get right, how everything goes. So we're gonna first just look at the instructions. And kind of see what it is. So the instructions are very simple. Here's a bunch of the different characters you can get. So there's a row of commons, there's a row of uncommons, and then there's a row of rare, which are just alt art ones. Then there's all these ones that are in the big giant game packs, which you can get one of two Maleficents, and then you get 2 items in each one. So I'm interested to find out is if they're all random or if they're paired together. So we'll kind of see what happens when we start opening some of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this stack of cards. So here's the instructions. I'll kind of explain through it as I go, but the instructions are fairly simple. What you're trying to do in the game, the object, is to push your patches onto the nexus, which is your center tile, before the glitches move in there. So you're trying to push glitches away and move patches towards it. And then there's all these other different rules and rolling dice and doing stuff. So there's a lot of very similar stuff. Now, each game is set up for one player to play. If you want to play multiple players, basically each person sets up their own little board. And then you can hop between them. So we have 2 character cards, which we will look at a little bit more in depth in just a sec. I just kind of want to go over what the boards are. So we have the Nexus boards. This is number 1 of 73. And it's going to show it has different tiles. So the different numbers on there are going to represent when you have to roll for something. If you need to beat this tile or anything like that, you have to roll on your die. You have a die that has four numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has a glitch side and it has a success side, like a magic side. So you're going to roll and compare your numbers. So if I was trying to beat this with Tiana here, I could roll whatever my highest stat was, which would be a 4. So I have 4 lightning bolt. I'd roll the die, and I have 6. So I tied it, which means I would win. Now this is just an example. Now there's 2 different sides, but this is the same. They also have an extra little symbol on here, which is a warp. So how the warp works is when you move your character up to 2 spaces on your turn, you can also move. You only move to a connected tile, or from a warp tile to another tile. Yeah, so this lets you move kind of wherever. So you're going to do is you're going to start by placing that face down. I'll maybe angle my camera a little bit better. So that's like your center tile where you start. That's where you want to get your patches to and keep your glitches out. So you are going to get a little extra tile like this, which is going to have a blue side and a black side. So here are your patches and here are your glitches. So you want to get these tiles to move into this, and you want to get the glitches away. And then they're kind of angled, which is kind of neat. So if you get a patch in here while you're moving it, you can always keep it in the center or on the corner, and then you can flip it over to show that you finished it. So you know which ones are done and which ones you're looking for. And it's kind of nice to actually pop back in there for storage, which is very nice. And then you're going to have all these room tiles which will have the same backs. Kingdomania, expandable card game. You're going to start the game off by setting up your board, which says place a text Nexus tile face up in front of you, and shuffle the remaining tiles face down. Don't include any characters or items in them, so just the room tiles. One at a time, flip the tiles up and connect them to the starting Nexus. This is so your room is randomized every time. So even if you play the same, if you buy like one ball, you might be playing with one, or if you're playing with two, you could mix them and use half the cards. It says match the entrance pathway with a dot to any open path of the same color. So if I look at my first one here, a couple of things to note on here. Let me set that there. Let's zoom in on this. This is what all the different cards are going to have. They're going to have various number of exits. Sometimes it'll be 3. Sometimes it might be more or less. They will have a dot, which is the one connecting point. Then after the game, when it starts, that dot doesn't mean anything. But this is saying if I have this dot, I can connect it to any other white dot. So I can connect this to any side there, but I can't connect the gray one, and I can't connect the black one. If I want to connect something to that one, I might have to use a gray dot. So a couple other things to point out. You have your set symbol, which is 1. You have your card numbers. This is number 56 of 73. So 73 different rooms. And then like your set number, W0, 01. And then there's a little symbol in the icon bottom corner that shows what set it belongs, or what like worlds. This is Toy Story. If you're not familiar, it's kind of the wallpapers like Andy's room. So this also has a pretty hefty way to beat it. To beat whatever the action is in there. So then we have a couple more rooms. I'm going to go through each one quick. We have, so this is what was interesting, because I have 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, and, not 70, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and 61. So a bunch of my tiles in here are all from the same thing, and then the last couple are random. So I don't know if that's going to be a consistent thing, and we'll find out when we open up more packs. So this one I only need 5 energy. So again, I have Tiana here. She did really great in here. She already has a 4 bonus. Now if I take my other character, Jessie, she has 0. So if she tried to do an action in here, she wouldn't be able to win, because as high as she can roll is a 4, unless she rolled the auto success. So depending on what characters you have, might give you better advantages for certain rooms. Here we have one that does a 5 hearts, a 5 shields, 5 shields or 6 hearts, and then this one has a patch on it. So this is where your patch token will start. So depending on where you randomly draw that, it can start right next to the Nexus. It can start somewhere far away. So then we have another one like that. And then we get a glitch tile. So now we're going to go into Zootopia. A little badge in the corner. So this is a different numbered one. We have this one has a spinning wheel for the Rapunzel or Maleficent. And then, not Rapunzel, Aurora. I'm thinking Rumpelstiltskin for some reason. And then we have the Frog Princess world. So this one also has a lock, and it has a warp on it. So the way the lock works is you put your second character. So if I start with Jessie, I put her off to the side, and I use her, and I put Tiana in the lock. So if I can get to the space and win that space, I can unlock Tiana, and now I have a second character to move around. So the Marvel one played very similar to that, except you had mystery crystals you're supposed to hide, and then open them up and reveal them, and they kind of just toss that whole thing out the window. So you can just see what you're going to get. So those are different tiles. So how you set up the game is fairly simple then. And I'm just going to kind of grab them randomly. So I'd start with my first tile. This is the first one I drew. I don't have any gray spots. So I'm going to set that one aside. Again, no gray spots. No gray spots. I go until I find one I can play. So I find one with a white. So I can play that one there. I draw my next one. I have another white one I have to add. So why don't I add that one in this direction? We got another one, so we'll add this over here. We can kind of span some different directions. So now this one, I don't have any tiles there, I don't have any there, so we'll go, I can't go this direction because the gray dots don't match. So I'd have to go down this way. And now I'm going to kind of stuck with these. So I have to add these in with my gray one, so I can put a gray one there. I have a gray one here, so I'll just expand that one this direction. I have a gray one there, so I'll expand that one out here. Now, if I had this tile earlier, I might have been able to like play it in such a way that I could have linked 2 rooms up together. Like maybe I could have gotten something like that or whatever, but I didn't do that, unfortunately. So we're going to do that. And then my last gray tile is going to have to just go on the bottom of one of these. So then now if I kind of zoomed out, I have a fairly wide board. And we will get into the unboxing with this, I promise. So now, let's say I'm going to start with Jessie, so we'll start her there. I'll put Tiana in the locked room. You drop your patches and glitches down. So my patches, unfortunately, are way down over here. And my glitches are right over on these spots. So then how the game is played. Every game you get 2 actions. During your actions, you can do move, which lets you move 2 spaces towards something. So again, I can either warp to that space, or I can move to a different spot. So it just might depend on what makes more sense. Like I got a glitch right here I might want to try and get rid of, or do I want to try and unlock Tiana right away? I can unlock an area, I can push glitches, or I can throw items. So if you're on a tile with an unlocked item, you can throw it to another level. So if you're playing with multiple players, I have my board set up, my friend has their board set up, I can throw my special item over to them in a different world, or I can travel to there. And so the first thing you want to do at the beginning of the game, I guess, is check. So it says, check the nexus. If there are 2 patches there, you win before two glitches get there. So if 2 glitches get there, then you lose. And I can take my 2 actions. So I'm going to take my action, I'm going to move 1 and use that warp to go there. I'm going to try and beat this with Jessie. So Jessie has some special abilities. She has action. Each character who isn't locked may move 1 space. So that doesn't help me right now, but she has 0, 2, 4, and 3. So I have to beat a 6 on this tile. So I'm going to use her 4 stat. So I only need to roll a 2. I rolled an auto success. So this unlocks Tiana. So now I have her abilities. Like her says, you may move 1 space, then move a character 1 space on your level. Now, anytime you use these abilities, you then flip them over to their use side. It says at the start of your turn, if the character is on the nexus, flip this over. So you don't get to use these abilities constantly. You'll have to move them around. Move a guy back to the nexus to do stuff, so it might take a couple of turns. But right off the bat, now I've unlocked Tiana, so I get 2 extra moves with her, and I got 1 move with Jessie. Now what I need to do is, I don't have anywhere to push this glitch. It's going to go to this space, I can keep trying to push it back 1, but I need to get over here and get these guys moved. So I'm going to use my second movement action with Jessie to teleport back to here. And I'm going to move my first move action to move Tiana there. Now, Jessie's done with her moves. So now I could use her ability to move her some more, or I could use Tiana's to move again. And it's probably what I'm going to end up doing, just to try and get my guys moved. So my first turn, I'm going to do Jessie's ability. It says, each character who isn't locked may move 1 space. So I'm going to flip her over to her gray side. Stats all stay the same, so they can each move 1 space. And then I'm going to use Tiana's ability, which says, you may move 1 space, then move a character on your level 1 space. So I'm going to move her 1 space, move Jessie 1 space. Now, Jessie's definitely used all her actions. She's used her 1 move, her 2 move, then she used the other 2 moves are from that. Tiana used 1 move to move here, and then her other 2 moves are from the player card. So she still has 1 ability left. Action. She's going to roll for glitches. So so I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and push this. So I'm going to do is roll, and I have to do is match these numbers. Now this is going to be hard because it's a 5 and a 6, and her abilities are 2 and 3. So I'm going to use my 3. So I need to try and roll at least a 2 or higher. So So I only rolled a 1. So unfortunately, nothing happens. And my turn is done. So then, step 3 is roll for glitches. At the end of each turn, you roll for the glitch. And I move both glitches if I roll that. So, alright, let's see what happens. I roll a success, nothing happens. Not a big deal. If I would have rolled the glitch icon, I would have moved both glitches 1 towards. Alright, so that's the end of my turn. Fairly simple. Now the next turn begins. I don't have access to either of their abilities. I've used both of them. So what I'm going to do is move Jessie 2 spaces and have her starting ready to do something in this bottom corner. I'm going to move Tiana 1 space. I'm going to try and push my push this patch over. So I have a 5 and a 6, which she has a 0 and a 4. So I'll go for the 4, the electricity or energy. I rolled a glitch. So this is bad, because now since I rolled that, all the glitches are going to move. So even if you roll them during that non-glitch turn, they all move. So that's definitely a bad thing to do. And that was the last of her actions. Now I roll for the glitches. If I would have rolled another glitch, I would have lost the game. So nothing happens. Alright, so beginning of my turn, my third turn, Jess is going to try and move her patch. So she has a 5 and a 6. So she has 4 shields, so she's going to try and do that. She rolled a success, so that patch will get moved into Tiana's area. So that was her one action. Her second action, she's just going to move up a space. Now Tiana is going to... ideally, what would have been nice is I should have been trying to get over there and move them guys. So I can push them glitches back, but I'm not going to have much of an option. But since Jess is right there for this turn, Tiana's going to take 2 movement, move over there. So our third thing, we roll for glitches. I rolled 2 glitches. They both move in here. Beginning of the next turn, it checks both glitches are in here. They're locked in. I just lost the game. So that's how kind of crazy this can be, because depending on where everything gets set up, how they go, and again, you could buy more sets and you could expand this out even further. It says if you have multiple players, just play multiple levels. But there's no reason why you couldn't just add like extra stuff in there, like add multiple characters at the end of the turn. Maybe roll two dice. You could customize your own rules and make like a big giant map. Maybe have like 2 different nexuses. Add some more glitches. Do all this other different stuff. Alright, so that was a how to play Kingdomania. You want to check back in for the other video where I'll actually do the full unboxing of everything, just so I don't have a super extra long double video. Alright, see you guys then. Bye.